Then got it.
And then oh yeah, I broke the rule. I looked at that. Okay. Anyway, here we are, Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. This is a wellness facility. It's the first and only medically licensed facility in the world to offer ayahuasca plant medicine. And I'm super excited. I'm Ben Decker. I'm the integration coach here. I keep looking at the camera. I'm sorry. Sorry to break the fourth wall, but I'm not supposed to be looking at the camera. Okay, I'm the integration coach here. And I'm here with two of our guests, Josh and Mackenzie Watts from New Hampshire. And you guys have been here before? You've been here. This is your third time.
Third time, yeah.
And how many times have you been here?
It's my first time.
This is your first time? Rock and roll.
Right?
All right. Okay, so
it.
I got to start with you then.
Okay.
And then, we'll come back. Okay.
Okay.
So, Josh, how was your first time ever coming to Rythmia?
That was so beautiful. It was my favorite, best experience ever. Because I was just rolling off of, I had lost my faith in my religion for 7 years. And I was just so unhappy, so nihilistic. And I started getting desperate to find something to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked into psychedelics. I did mushrooms. And then I wanted to do ayahuasca because I heard it's the God particle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can meet God there.
Yeah.
And I came here, and the first night, incredible. Felt like I was able to heal, and I was able to get back what I felt like I lost. And then by the third day, I felt like it took me through this series of events where it showed every moment that God had helped me in my life. And I just went through experience. I was just weeping, and it just restored my faith that there's a creator. That was the probably the highlight of the week was that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I came back and I just raved to everybody that this is the most beautiful experience. I felt like I was able to get so close to God. I was able to experience Him in a way I've never had before. Beautiful experience.
Yeah,
such a good experience.
I love that. And so you were raised religious.
Very,
yeah. And so that's something that we get here sometimes as people who are wanting to reconnect to their faith or find faith in the first place, or let their faith become real.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have a similar experience? You both have a similar religious background.
Yes. I would say that it did bring me back to my connection with God, and it just got me to think about it in a completely different way, in a way that's beneficial to me, and that I think will be beneficial to my posterity as well. So I'm very grateful for that. And just seeing the change in him has really been it's not only been a life changer for him, but for our relationship and for our family, for sure.
What was a highlight for you this week? He shared a really meaningful highlight from his first week. What was yours?
I would say just the knowing and the understanding of how powerful I am. And just that overall reminder, because I think that sometimes we forget it, but just being reminded and giving a direction and giving an understanding on why we are the way that we are is just so helpful on so many different levels.
How did that play out for you? In ceremony or in the classes, or what was it?
I would say that it was in ceremony. It's definitely with following the intentions that they have set out for us. Because if I didn't follow those intentions, I don't think that I would have been reminded of that. Right. And it really is such a perfect setup, because it can work in the framework. I think if anyone's what their challenges or what their struggles are, and it can really push them forward through that.
Beautiful. Thank you. I like that too. I like the intentions too. I feel the same way. I feel like the intentions are we come to ayahuasca with so many different intentions. There's so many things that we want. It sounds like you guys had some really clear intentions, spiritual intentions, but we also have other things that we want to manifest in our lives and all of that. So we sometimes have a list. And when we arrive, it's one of the first things that we recommend to all the guests is okay, so now just trust yourself that you already remember that list, let go of it. And, we have our program that we offer here. They say that something Jerry, founder of Rythmia, something he always says that I appreciate. He says, plant medicine done wrong will answer all of your questions. Plant medicine done right will eliminate your questions.
That sounds very valid. You know.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a highlight this week?
Yeah. I got through they give it an additional 9 intentions when you come back for true liberation. And I got through all those on Wednesday. That was
all 9.
Incredible. Yeah. Yeah. So it was the first bit of the night, like nothing happened for like 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, oh great. I had this like impression that ayahuasca was done working with me. I got really like sad. Told me I was a liar. Like it's not gonna work with a liar because I'm not going to if I'm not going to use what it's teaching me, then it's not going to teach me anything else.
Wow.
So then I had to like accept that I lie, accept the lies that I've told, and then it just opened up and it just started unraveling and teaching me a bunch of stuff. And started going through all the intentions, the forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness of other people, and then I'm trying to remember all 9 right now. But it started going through all of them, and then it just had this beautiful experience where all just like everything came together, and it just showed me how being truthful is how you are liberated. And how the more truthful you are, the easier it is to see through the lies. And if you can see through the lies, you can see the truth, and life becomes much simpler. And you're not being held back by opinions about yourself, including your own or from other people. I don't have opinions about other people that are like detrimental because I can see the good in them. I can see the lies that they believe and some of the lies that maybe society believes, but I can see the truth of who they are. So it's easier to love them. And it just expanded on that one little topic. It's applied to so much stuff. It was life-changing. Like the most impactful week I've ever had at Rythmia.
Amazing. Yeah. Dude, I'm so happy to hear that.
Thank you.
I love what you said about how it started with, well, I mean, it started slow. I hate that. I always know that that's part of what can happen. But like when we're here, we're so with you in the process. Like I'm always like, sorry. You know, there's like, you know, you just have to get through it. You know, it's sort of like when you're when you have a loved one who's sick and all you can do is just like love them and support them as much as you can and just, you know, just know it's a process, you know? And, but I love that you said that it brought you to basically an active character defect, you know? And that is really the first of the 3 intentions. Show me who I have become. You know, you mentioned the 3 intentions. That first intention, when you're an alumni, like you said, this is your 3rd time. So your 2nd and 3rd time, you were given the additional 9 intentions. And but you started with really the first 3.
Yeah, I did that on Monday. Yeah, and then it was what I learned on Monday is what helped me get out of the like where I was stuck on Wednesday. So I started thinking because it showed me a memory from my childhood that I hadn't thought was impactful. And then it just started to show me how much damage it had done. It was just, I don't want my parents to see this, but I don't make them feel bad. But long story short, something had happened and someone was asking questions. They're thinking about suing us because my dog had attacked another dog. And I was trying to be honest and answer the questions truthfully. And I was a little too forthright maybe. And it was kind of putting my dad in a hole where he's gonna get in big trouble. And he got really mad at me. And then it just gave me this weird relationship with the truth where I couldn't figure out why sometimes telling the truth was so difficult for me. And it wasn't like the truth can be difficult, but it was like weirdly difficult where it tied my tongue. I had hard times talking. She'd like try and get it out of me and I just couldn't do it. And I realized like I've always felt so small when that happened, so cowardly and so weak. And I realized that one moment had taught me to be afraid of telling the truth. And that had caused unbelievable amounts of suffering for me. So I just wasn't forthright. I should have been. But yeah, so the first night, those 3 intentions, I always do those because they're so helpful. And that's what helped me get breakthrough because I started thinking about what happened on Monday and it walked me through that first memory. And I started like, oh, this is the cause of your problems. This one little event has caused most of the problems in your life. If you can fix this one little thing, your life will be so much easier.
Okay, so just so everyone watching knows, the 3 intentions are show me who I have become, which really is about showing ourselves, getting honest with ourselves about the ways we have deviated from our authenticity, our true nature, the ways that our own character defects are getting in our way of our lives. Show me who I have become. We don't say show me who I am because we already know who you are. You're perfect, pure, infinite potential, infinite love. That's who you really are. We already know who you really are. But show me who I have become is like, highlight the areas that are holding me back right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that second intention is merge me back with my soul at all costs, which is sort of like saying, connect me back to my true self before I really received the conditioning that caused who I had become. Kind of like what you're saying, those original key imprinting events that sort of, color and shape the way we experience the world, So merge me back with my soul at all costs, which means like connect me back to that part of me that is infinite potential, infinite love, infinite creativity, openness, all of that, our true nature. That third one is heal my heart, which I kind of see it as like that first one is like a purification.
Mm-hmm.
Show me who I have become so I can let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Merge me back with my soul at all costs, which is sort of like, let me be myself again. And it's almost like remind me of my power, like you were saying, remind me of who I really am. Remember, okay, Disney Lanking, remember who you are, Simba.
Yes.
It's like that whole moment of really remembering who you are, merge me back with my soul at all costs. And then heal my heart oftentimes has to do with kind of what you were saying earlier, Josh, about being able to have a lot more forgiveness and patience with other people, being able to have love for them, seeing, the lies that maybe they're believing, they're telling, that kind of thing, and having grace for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it works like a charm, really,
It does,
leaning into those three intentions.
And I see a lot of people that do other plant medicine. I feel like by not doing those intentions, they really hold themselves back. They get stuck. Whereas I feel like so many people here can get through those intentions and they solve most of their issues they came here for.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's one of the things that's so distinctive about Rythmia is that those three intentions are so helpful. They're so powerful and no one else does them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a complete game changer,
It is.
right? To be able to have a holistic integration plan,
Mm-hmm.
like first of all, a preparation plan leading into each ceremony and an integration plan going after.
Yes.
A lot of my friends, I got my background meditation and yoga and all that kind of stuff before I came to Rythmia. And a lot of my friends who are hearing about ayahuasca, they're like, oh, I want to come do ayahuasca. But there's a shaman at an Airbnb in Pasadena.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go do that. I'm always like, you need so much more than just the ayahuasca.
Yes.
You especially people who are in a modern context, who are not from the culture where ayahuasca is from. We really need to bridge that gap. Here at Rythmia, we work really hard to work with the indigenous community who provides our medicine. Our medicine is also like some of the best in the world, highest quality, cleanest, natural, like talk about organic, like this is like deep in the jungle, sustainably harvested, all that kind of stuff. And, it's all about community. Ayahuasca has always been about community. And this, it's amazing to have you be a part of the community. And I always think it's wonderful when a family member, someone brings a family member in, and it's always great to see someone who's come multiple times. Some people will say, oh, didn't you get your miracle?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, there's only one I ever needed.
Yeah,
so you've been here 3 times. Do you feel like you got 3 miracles?
Yeah, and they're each different each time. So like the first time it came for a very specific reason. I did the 3 intentions and later on got the thing I was really looking for. And then the second time, I just got my ass kicked the whole week. It was good. I needed it. I needed the wake up call. That's what it was, the wake up call. It was rough. It took like a year to feel normal again. But I would still call it a miracle because it like helped me a lot. And then this time, completely different miracle, and I think it's the one I've always needed. I just was never ready for. I think it took those other 2 times to get me prepped for this one, where I had to become willing to surrender enough to receive it and willing to be honest enough to accept it. So yeah, it's been different every single time. I don't think it's ever really to end, and it's hard to become perfect. So I don't think it's a one-time thing. There's always something to work on. Yeah,
totally.
It's
It's a path. It's a path of self-discovery. Is how I see it. There's always more to learn about ourselves. We also get these beautiful glimpses into eternity. These glimpses into the infinite. I always think you have a religious and spiritual background. We talked about this off camera, but we're all from the same religion. And I think that there's something really special about working with the medicine because you have, it's not like the medicine does it, but you meet the medicine and you can create an opportunity where you receive basically these revelations, mostly about your own life, but also about the broader universe and life.
Yes. Yeah.
And you really start to see what all the ancient sages and prophets and poets and saints like have been trying to describe.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
Did you guys have, I mean, this was your first week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a hard time explaining what your experience was like?
I did my best. I mean, to her before she came here?
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
I mean, after this time?
Really after your first time is what I'm thinking.
I wrote it all out. I did my best to try and explain it. She's pretty open-minded. She always has been. I'm surprised how supportive she was. She was so kind about everything. But it's so hard to explain this stuff. It's so emotional and it's almost unbelievable. It sounds like you're lying sometimes because it's just too miraculous.
Right.
I can explain like what I saw. I can explain what I experienced. But I think the helpful things when you live with someone, it's hard to lie to them. They can see who you really are and if you've actually changed. It's not a front. You can't put up a front for that many years. Yeah. They know you pretty well. So I think that's probably the more helpful part is she could see the changes more so than what I've told her.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you see? What kind of changes did you see?
Well, and not only like with him, we have a lot of our friends that came after, and then I saw their changes. But with him, it was so enlightening and comforting to see him like just believe in God again, like just believe in a higher power again, and not have to know the answers to everything, but be able to live life like that, because he became very like before did ayahuasca, he became very like black and white, like there's no gray area, there's also no like if I don't have the true answer, I don't have any answer, like and like that can just be so detrimental for our mental health, and I definitely saw that. So anything to open his mind, I was going to be for. And then, seeing his mind open and seeing just the better that came from it is just like something I will forever be grateful for. And I loved him then, but like I love him like 10 times more. And even after this week doing it together, it was such a beautiful experience for our relationship too. To be able to grow on that level, to communicate on a higher level, and just have a better direction for the rest of our lives, like what's better than that?
Hello. Yeah. Like, wow.
Right.
Just like so incredible, and it's like, we're just here in this moment, but to hear that, to know that, and like, how does that feel for you to know, like you've seen so many of your friends go through this process, you've seen your partner go through this process, and now here you are, like, how are you feeling right now?
I feel 10 times different. It's crazy how I didn't realize like how broken I felt before coming here, but I feel whole again. I feel clarity, a change in perception, and just an overall new lease on life, which you just don't get that many opportunities to have that, in this life. And any opportunity you have to do that, you got to take it,
Absolutely. So what are you looking forward to together now? Like, as you start this new chapter, you just went through plant medicine together, a whole week together. It's winter solstice, the beginning of a whole new, something new. What are you guys most looking forward to now that you're going home? You got your miracles together this week.
I think it's just the improved relationship. Like we're so much closer now, so much more open. I feel like we were before, but it's just gotten so much better. And so I'm excited to like experience this level of relationship, where it's already good, but now it's just so much better. So I'm excited for that. It's gonna be fun. Then we have 2 little kids, so I think it's gonna help us be better parents, which is kind of one of the reasons why we came here is we're trying to plan the next 5 or 10 years. We thought this is a good way to do it. We can really like help ourselves grow. Then let's get a vision for the future that will be best for us and our family. So I'm excited to have that kind of unravel and to really get that hammered out.
And then also, I would say just to be able to hold each other accountable to the new truths that we know and find, and just have each other's backs through that, because it's not easy. But support is everything, and just pushing each other too, you know. So if you don't have that, we're meant to grow in our relationship, you know. And this week has made me understand that we are growing, and then we have so much more to grow from, you know, which is so inspiring.
Yeah, it's like that quote that says, "The more I know, the more I realize I don't know."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the thing that sometimes people don't realize. They're like, wait. Rythmia has this like 99% miracle rate. People get their miracle, like, why do you keep going back? And it's like, because it's the bomb. It's amazing. It's so incredible. And you guys are like the perfect example of the best case scenario. You know, it sounds like you really showed up originally with a lot of humility, a lot of openness. And sometimes I think like being at the end of your rope or at some form of a rock bottom is almost like the exact like vulnerability to set you up for the best case scenario.
I agree. Yeah. I think being broken's like almost a precursor to coming here. Shouldn't say that for everybody, but for me, yeah, being broken helped a lot because it allowed me to trust something I probably would never trusted before.
And that's where I was. I actually didn't have a ton of interest in coming. Like every time that they would come and I would hear the experiences, be so grateful for them, you know, but like I really am
so
like,
good for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that for you.
But I just didn't have a lot of interest until like I hit rock bottom too. And I was just like, and I felt that here, like in one of the experiences, and just to climb myself further out of that with the help of plant medicine is just, I'm so grateful for.
I think that you guys have the exact right attitude, because sometimes people will sort of like approach the medicine and be like, do it, go, what now? You know, and there's a certain amount of surrender, of course, but it sounds like you both were really actively choosing to work, choosing to lean in, choosing to be accountable. Accountability is like terrifying. Okay. That's like not fun. That's something that, you know, we associate it with getting in trouble, being punished, you know, feeling like there's some shame, guilt, those kinds of like really terrible energies. But it sounds like you guys have been through a lot. Sounds like you've been on a whole journey together and have gotten better at learning how to, you know, hold each other in grace. Which is like, hello, like what a miracle.
Especially in a relationship. But I think you also have to have the motivation for the end result, because like the first night I was fighting it like a lot, you know? And
how did you feel before ceremony? Did you feel anxious or nervous?
Yeah, because I've never been in an altered state before. Like never. So.
Yeah, Mormon girl, no alcohol, no drugs. Yeah. I think that's great.
And I really don't need it. Like I'm really good at just like all of my friends would tell you I don't need that. But but just there is that anxious feeling, and then actually separating myself, my higher self, from my ego, and then like negotiating with my ego. That was like, okay, like that's then you realize my ego is my coping mechanisms, you know, and then I have to like, okay, like I was fighting it a lot the first night, but then going through that, I have this motivation of who I want to be by the end of it. So I have to like keep pushing to there, surrender, not fight it, but you have to like improve each time you go into it too, you know, because you want to be more prepared to move to that.
Right. You know, people sometimes talk about ayahuasca like it's a drug. And I've been over 200 ayahuasca ceremonies myself over the last like 9 years, you know, and it's like, so not a drug. There's so many things about it that are the opposite of a drug. You know, like for example, with like a problematic substance, like an addictive substance, you know, the more you take it, the more you need. You know, so with like an actual drug, you build a tolerance, and you need to take more. You can eventually build a dependence. With ayahuasca, the more you do, the more you experience it, the less you need every single time. So I sometimes say it's more like a skill. It's more like a skill than it is like a drug. You know, you get better at it. Sometimes I joke, if I think too much about ayahuasca, I start to like, okay,
go into it.
Yeah. I start to see the pain time. I'm like, bang. You shouldn't have said that to her earlier. That wasn't true. You know,
Yes.
like the self-reflection and introspection becomes part of our lives the more we integrate it, you know, and you don't need to do it 200 times to have that. You just need to really show up for it and then integrate it, you know, integrate it well. Okay. Do you guys have any thoughts or messages for anyone who might feel like they're open to this, interested, but maybe nervous, apprehensive for one reason or another, or maybe they're totally cringed out by the use of the word miracle or something like that? Like, do you have a message for anybody?
Ooh, it's a tough question. I don't think I could ever talk highly enough of this for what it's done for me and us. So I feel like it's an act of self-love to do this. And for your family too, it's an act of love for them. Because I've always seen people get better from this. I've never seen, because a lot of people will, like I remember when I first was thinking of doing this, all the different scary things people will tell you about it. Yeah. And you've never done it before, so you're like, I don't know if that's true. Is there bad things like that happen? And then you come experience it and you realize it's all lies. And that this just, it's so helpful and it's so powerful. It's crazy. It's not more common. But I think it's just because they believe the lies and they're afraid of it.
I think that also a good friend of mine said that it's like something that people don't understand until you do it. And so like they will tear down anything that they don't understand, which is fine. We can acknowledge that's okay, right? Because
it's just like that's what we do when we don't understand something. You don't know until you know.
Yeah, every new thing's heretical.
You do. There is a little bit of a leap of faith, huh?
Huge.
Like in your
not especially if you're religious, it's a big leap of faith. You're like, should I be doing this?
Yeah.
I'm always like, if someone says like, oh, I'm Christian or I'm Buddhist or whatever, I'm like, bring Jesus with you. Like Jesus is in there, dude. Like it's like no problem. We have a Jesus statue.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's never hurt my faith at all. It's only made it better.
I couldn't agree more. Like made it real for me.
Yes.
And just seeing like him going from like atheist, agnostic to back to believing in God, you know, big part from this experience. And I actually don't know where you would be if you didn't go back. You know,
not happy.
I know, and I just like, so just seeing that, like, how could that be of anything other than a higher, you know, not. And of course, it's hard. You know, but the good things in life are really hard. You know, the good things in life
you gotta
can
earn
scare you.
Yeah. And everything. It's not free lunch.
But I'm an adrenaline junkie, and that was like it fed everything to me there.
You're like,
you know?
oh, wow.
You know,
I know. I'm like, it's totally brutal, but also like, yes.
like
it's always worth it.
Yeah.
It is rough, but
it can be.
Yeah.
But there's like an expression that I hear in Spanish here a lot, vale la pena. It's worth the cost.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just so worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
Way more than worth it. It pays you back dividends and 10x whatever you put into it. Yeah, it's incredible.
Well, it's been awesome to get to know you guys.
Thank you.
And so funny that we were actually together all week. Didn't know we had met each other 15 years ago.
Yeah, know your parents pretty well.
Yeah, I know. You're like asking about my dad's arthritis. I was like, he's doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. Yeah. But yeah, it's just been amazing to have you guys here. It's been great to have you just share so openly and honestly. And so thank you so much. Can't wait to see you guys here again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Take care, everybody.